A very good evening and welcome to Newswatch on this very first day of November 2024. It has been quite a momentous day for the country as its third deputy president was sworn in. We have the details on that coming up, so please stay tuned. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Towards the end of the bulletin, we will be looking at a new segment named Today's Conundrum, where we will be exploring the SHA transition that follows Kenyans' outcry after salary cuts and challenges with accessing healthcare. But first, the day's news. Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki has been sworn in as Kenya's new deputy president after a court lifted orders barring his inauguration following legal challenges by his predecessor Rigathi Gachagua. In the company of his wife, Professor Joyce Kithure Kindiki took the oath of allegiance, vowing to help President William Ruto steer the country towards the right direction. His swearing-in comes after the Senate removed Gachagua from office in October on charges of gross violation of the Constitution and starring ethnic hatred accusations he termed as politically instigated.
I will always truly
and diligently
serve
the people of Kenya
and
the Republic of Kenya in the office of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, that I will diligently discharge my duties and perform my functions in the said office to the best of my judgment, that I will at all times when so required faithfully and truly give my counsel and advice to the President of the Republic of Kenya, that I will do justice to all without fear, favor, affection, or ill will, and that I will not directly or indirectly reveal such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties and committed to my secrecy. So help me God.
Now, President William Ruto has hailed his new deputy, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki, as a competent leader whom he believes will help him steer the country towards the right direction. The head of state has urged his deputy, nicknamed as Abra K. Ruto, is now counting on him to use his eloquence, academic background, and expertise to help him restore the lost faith in his government. Samia Dika tells us more of how the second in command, named after the father of faith, Abraham, is seen as the best choice as the country's number 2.
Of September 2022, the cost of living and increased taxes have remained a common complaint against the Ruto-led administration.
I will do the right thing for our country, irrespective of what names people call me, including Zakaya.
Now, speaking during the swearing-in of his new deputy, who now goes by Abra K nickname.
Let me call you Abraham K, or Abra K. Welcome to the service of this great nation, Kenya.
President William Ruto seemingly noted that his then deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, was against his plans for Kenya.
I have almost become a lonely voice in the executive, especially in the presidency, speaking about our projects, speaking about our programs, elaborating on what we are doing. You are eloquent, my brother. You're intelligent, my brother. I am confident that you will do that which I have missed for the last 2 years.
Contrary to his statement at KICC, the former teacher of the law, having served as Interior Cabinet Secretary, was seemingly President William Ruto's first choice.
Before I come to our candidate, I want to very sincerely thank my lawyer, my friend, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki.
But with reasons known to him, Gachagua was the favored one by then.
He is passionate about ordinary people. My friend, I present to you the Kenya Kwanza running mate candidate, my brother and friend, Rigathi Gachagua.
With the entire presidency now speaking the same language, it is now a wait and see if Kenyans will benefit from the Kenya Kwanza government's promises.
I promise you, before this congregation and before God, that I will not let you down for the privilege you have given me.
As Professor Abraham takes over the principal assistant's position to the president, will the second in command help Kenyans have strong faith like Abraham in the Bible in President William Ruto's dream towards a better country? For Newswatch, I'm Sami Adika.
Much appreciated, Sami Adika, for that report. Newly sworn-in Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has promised to support his boss, President William Ruto, in achieving a more transformed Kenya. Kindiki, who assumed office today, 1st November 2024, has pledged to follow Ruto's lead in executing his mandate. On his part, President William Ruto has listed his reasons for selecting Kithure Kindiki to serve as his deputy, describing him as well-suited to work with him following weeks of silence from his predecessor, Rigathi Gachagua. Alice Diana brings us more.
That I will always truly.
Moments after being sworn in as Kenya's third deputy president under the new constitution and the second deputy president under the Kenya Kwanza regime, Professor Kithure Kindiki expressed gratitude to President William Ruto for choosing him as his deputy. In his inaugural address, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki pledged to do his best in his new role, assuring President William Ruto that he will not let him down.
But I am grateful to Almighty God, who orders the steps and the affairs of every human being on earth. I am grateful to you, sir, for the honor you have given me to serve under you. I promise you, before this congregation and before God, that I will not let you down for the privilege you have given me.
DP Kindiki expressed his readiness to work alongside the president and fellow leaders to implement policies that would enhance the well-being of citizens and foster national cohesion.
And therefore, Your Excellency, as you lead us into the transformation of our country in the years ahead, I want to commit to support and assist you together with the other colleagues in government to realize a Kenya that has even greater opportunities, a more inclusive Kenya, a more democratic Kenya, and a more transformed Kenya.
Kindiki thanked his wife Joyce Kindiki for the great support that she has accorded him, saying she has been the pillar of his family. President William Ruto, who highlighted several reasons why he chose Kindiki as his deputy president, described him as a tireless public servant on the path of national leadership.
I know him as a dedicated professional whose commitment to excellence has helped us overcome daunting challenges, and as a tireless public servant on the path of national leadership. Abraham is also a patriot whose dedication to cohesion, national unity, and inclusivity is beyond reproach. An effective champion of peace and stability, and across every part of our country, and a loyal steward of our bottom-up economic transformation agenda.
In Professor Kindiki, we see a lot of virtue, but perhaps the one I may want to single out is the virtue of humility. And simplicity. He does not walk around with airs around him. This is a very important virtue. If, as a nation, we can embrace humility, we will go far.
In what seemed to be a clear swipe at immediate former Deputy President, who was a constant advocate for the Mount Kenya region, President William Ruto asked Kindiki to serve all Kenyans without fear or favor.
Abrake, please serve the people of Kenya and the Republic of Kenya. As I told our principal secretaries, as I told our cabinet secretaries, and as I tell every public servant who has a responsibility, who has a duty, who has the honor to serve our nation, let us serve the people of Kenya and the Republic of Kenya. We are not here to serve ourselves or our families or our communities or our regions.
Kindiki has replaced Rigathi Gachagua, who was impeached on October 17, 2024 by the Senate. Alice Diana, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Alice Diana. Now, much has been said and continues to be said about Professor Kithure Kindiki. Who is he? Kindiki is a Kenyan politician and a famous lawyer who was the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Coordination before becoming the third Deputy President under the 2010 Constitution. Dickens Luvanda gives us his biography.
That I will always truly
Abraham Kithure Kindiki, who has been nicknamed Abra K by his boss President William Ruto, is a man whose popularity has risen instantly not only in Kenya but across the world. Kindiki, who was sworn in as Deputy President on Friday, November 1st, 2024, at the KICC in Nairobi, was born on July 17, 1979 in Meru District. Kindiki studied at Lenana School and later at the Tharaka Boys High School and obtained a law degree from Moi University in 1998. 2 years later, Kindiki, now 52 years old, earned a master's degree in law from the University of Pretoria in South Africa. Likewise, he obtained a law degree from the Kenya School of Law in the year 2001 and later obtained a doctorate in law from the Pretoria College in South Africa in the year 2002. In terms of work, Professor Kindiki was a lecturer at the Moi University in the year 1999 before joining the University of Nairobi in 2004 and returning to Moi University in the year 2005 to become the head of faculty. In the year 2013, during the 2013 election, he was elected as the Senator of Tharaka Nithi County and also appointed the majority leader in the Senate, and then was re-elected as the Senator for the second term in the year 2017 general election, where he was also elected as the Deputy Speaker of the Senate, but got fired in the year 2020.
And even as we celebrate our constitution and our democracy, I pay tribute to those who purposed to fight for and defend the establishment of our country and our constitutional order. I am grateful to those who are responsible for creating the Kenya that we live in today.
Kindiki was appointed Cabinet Secretary for National Security in the year 2022 by President William Ruto until he was appointed as the Deputy President following the dismissal of Rigathi Gachagua. Kindiki married Joyce Gatiri Njagi Kithure in 2001 and they are blessed with 3 children. Joyce Njagi takes over from Rigathi Gachagwa's wife, better known as Pastor Dorcas Gachagua. Unlike the wives of other leaders, Joyce Njagi has been out of the public eye for more than a decade and holds a PhD in environmental chemistry and a master's in education, and has been a lecturer for several years at the University of Nairobi Department of Chemistry. She also has published several research publications. Professor Kithure Kindiki Abraham, after taking the oath of office, is now the 14th deputy president in the history of Kenya and the third under the new constitution formalized in the year 2010. Sulvanda, Hope TV Newswatch.
Much appreciated, Dickens Luvanda, on that biography. And on that note, let's take a short break on Newswatch tonight. We have more coming up, including what next for former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Stay tuned.
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Join Joshua Betty this Sunday for a live moment of worship.
Your name is to be alone.
On Ultimate Worship from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and repeat from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
To his kingdom there'll be no end.
Hope TV, look and live.
The name of Jesus is higher than other names. Alpha and Omega, no other name like him.
Thank you for choosing Hope TV, the channel that brings you hope, entertainment, and inspiration. We value you and would like to serve you better. Talk to us by scanning this QR code on your screen, or go to our social media page at Hope TV Kenya and click on the survey link by the name Hope TV Survey. It will just take a few minutes but means the world to us. We value your feedback. Hope TV, look and live.
Welcome back. With Kithure Kindiki officially sworn in as Kenya's new deputy president, the political landscape has shifted dramatically, leaving Rigathi Gachagua grappling with the aftermath of his impeachment as he faces a series of court challenges and the task of clearing his name. Gachagua's future remains uncertain. His ousting not only signifies a loss of power but also raises questions about his political survival and prospects for a comeback. Gachagua's supporters contend that the impeachment was politically motivated, aimed at sidelining a prominent figure within the ruling party. The question in many contemplating is what next for the former deputy president. In the wake of Kindiki's appointment, Gachagua must now consider his options carefully. Legal experts suggest that appealing the High Court's decision that upheld his impeachment could be his primary focus. An appeal would allow him to contest the ruling, potentially restoring his position if successful. However, the process could be lengthy and complex, requiring a strategic approach to garner public support and reinforce his political alliances. Moreover, Gachagua may seek to leverage his grassroots support to maintain relevance, positioning himself as a steadfast advocate for the interests of ordinary Kenyans amidst political turbulence. Today, the former deputy president on his Facebook thanked God for the gift of family. He further said, and I quote, "The smell of fresh grass, sounds of chirping birds is what a happy family needs. I will remain forever grateful to God for giving me a loving and supportive family. We are happy to be home where I was born and brought up. I can't wait for the morning to take my walk in Hombe Forest, enjoy the beautiful scenery of Mount Kenya as I thank God for his kindness." End of quote. On her part, Dorcas Gachagua on her X page went ahead to give God all the glory, saying, and I quote, "It is easy to look at the challenges and circumstances surrounding you and forget the cardinal rule of a believer. Today, my family and I choose to give a prayer of thanksgiving, understanding God remains sovereign whether he saves us." End of quote. In the coming weeks, regarding Gachagua's decisions regarding an appeal, public engagement and alliance building will be pivotal as he seeks to reclaim his political footing in a rapidly changing environment. Whether he can clear his name and restore his standing will not only determine his future, but also reflect the ongoing struggle for accountability and integrity in Kenyan politics. As Professor Kithure Kindiki steps into the role of Deputy President, his wife, Dr. Joyce Gathiria Njagi Kithure, takes her place as Kenya's new Second Lady. Dr. Njagi, who has had a long and accomplished career serving as a senior lecturer in the Department of Chemistry at the University of Nairobi, has been married to Professor Kindiki since 2001. She has, however, kept her life and that of her 3 children very private. Here's a look at her profile with Melissa Oduor. Much apologies for that report. We will revisit it once it is ready. Across our country, or rather in Embu County was alive with jubilant celebration as Kithure Kindiki took the oath of office as Kenya's deputy president, a moment locals saw as a new dawn for unity and progress. The event that was televised countrywide sparked joy and optimism across Mount Kenya East, where residents expressed pride in Kindiki, a leader they describe as principled and competent. Many Embu residents voiced confidence in his intellect and integrity, traits they believe are essential to restoring unity as Kenya's 3rd deputy president.
Sisi tukiwa Mount Kenya East, sisi tunajivunia hiyo kiti sana. Kwa sababu kutoka uhuru, kutoka wakati ya mkoroni, area hii hatujapata kiti kikubwa kama hizo. Ya pili ni kuonyeshana hata community ndogo inaweza toka kiongozi.
Eneo kama hii yetu ya huku Mount Kenya hii ya huku juu, Kindiki atakuwa anatuangalia kwa undani na atatuangalia akiwa kabisa. Ile ingine ningetaka kusema ni kuambia rais asante kwa yale ambayo ametufanya, kwa sababu tumefinyiliwa miaka mingi na watu kutoka wakati wa Moi. Sasa tumefika wakati wetu hata sisi wenyewe tujifunie.
aende aunganishe kabila zote za Kenya. Kwa hivyo hakuna mlima, hakuna Kisii, hakuna Mbaluya. Kwa hivyo tunataka kufanyiwa kazi tukiwa kitu kimoja kama wana Kenya, na tunasema tafadhali Bwana Kithure Kindiki uangalie sana, sababu tangu sisi wananchi tuchaguane tuliona viongozi wote walikuwa kwa magari juu wakifanya siasa. Tunataka kuona hiyo temperature ya siasa ikirudi chini. Sasa tuone mahospitali yetu imepata ndawa, mashule yetu watoto wamesoma, barabara zetu zimetengenezwa. Kwa hivyo tuangalie hiyo maneno yote.
Ile kitu ningemuomba ni apime mdomo yake. Asiwe mtu ya kuongea mingi kama mtangulisi wake. Siri ni kwamba ficha maneno, fanya kazi.
Tunataka president kutoka sasa onwards aanze kutafuta ile manifesto alizunguka Kenya mzima. Hapa kwetu alikuja pale Mountain Breeze akachukua maoni, embo hatujaona mambo yale tuliyompatia yakifanyika. Tunajua alipita kule Kisumu, Nairobi alifanya. We want to see the actual things happening.
From the country to Botswana, Botswana's President Mokgweetsi Masisi has conceded defeat in the general election after his party lost massively, ending the ruling party's 58 years in power since independence. Masisi's concession came before the final results were announced, with his Botswana Democratic Party, where he is trailing in 4th place in the parliamentary elections in what appeared to be a humbling rejection by voters. The main opposition umbrella for democratic change held a strong lead in the partial results, making its candidate Duma Boko the favorite to become president. Masisi said he had called Boko to inform him he was conceding defeat and said Boko was now in effect the president-elect.
I did also say that I was prepared to lose the election over it. If this has anything to do with it, I stand very proud that I stood my ground on it. But I'm proud of the agricultural programs we put in place, empowerment programs, we put in Botswana's first, and the structural adjustment we were getting into the economy. Now, I really enjoyed myself. It was tough work. I worked very hard. My typical day was very long. I worked 6 to 7 days a week, daily. I've been working hard since 2019, trust me. So I think it may, unexpected as it is, become as a good time to rest. So that's it. Today, starting tomorrow, or as in my discussion with the President-elect, at a time convenient to him, we will begin all administrative work to facilitate the transition. And I assure you that I will not take any actions to hinder or slow down this process. I will also hand over all outstanding government matters to the new president, so he may address them after his inauguration. I'll continue to serve your interests and the interests of my beloved Botswana within the parameters of our constitution. I promise to do my part in building a stronger country from within and to work with the new administration to ensure that every Botswana has opportunities at their fingertips.
Back into the country, into our new segment on Newswatch tonight, called, or rather known as Today's Conundrum. We take a look at the SHA transition. The recent adoption of the Social Health Authority SHA in Kenya has raised alarm across the country, particularly in light of the automatic transfer of millions of Kenyans from the National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF, without consent. This transition, which was effective on October 1st, has sparked outrage, revealing deep-seated concerns about equity and representation in the healthcare system. One of the most contentious aspects of the SHA is its funding structure, which mandates that salaried employees contribute 2.75% of their gross monthly income. In stark contrast, members of parliament are exempt from making any contribution to this fund. This disparity raises serious questions about fairness and accountability as it appears to create a two-tiered system where those who can afford to contribute more may benefit disproportionately, while average workers bear the brunt of the financial burden. The new contribution model under SHA lacks the maximum cap seen in the previous NHIF system, which had salary brackets that capped contributions at 1,700 shillings. By removing this cap, the SHA system could potentially place a heavier financial load on lower and middle-income earners, making healthcare access more difficult for those already struggling to make ends meet. Some argue that this structure may exacerbate existing inequalities, leaving the most vulnerable persons even worse off, not to mention that there is a limit on the number of dependents who can benefit from a parent's cover. This situation has led many to question whether the Kenyan government is veering towards a form of dictatorship, where the interests of the elite overshadow the needs of the general population. The exemption of members of parliament from contributions raises eyebrows and suggests a lack of accountability from those in positions of power. As the gap between the rich and poor widens, the government's commitment to equity in healthcare has become increasingly suspect. The SHA's promise of improved healthcare access and efficiency is overshadowed by these glaring disparities. Without meaningful dialogue and engagement with the public, the government risks further oppressing its citizens and eroding trust in the healthcare system. As this unfolding scenario continues to develop, it is essential for the government to address these critical issues transparently and engage in open discussions with stakeholders. The voices of Kenyans must be prioritized to ensure that the new system does not perpetuate cycles of poverty and inequality. Ultimately, SHA could either be a step towards a more equitable healthcare framework or a reinforcement of existing injustices, an outcome that rests heavily on the government's willingness to listen and respond to its citizens' needs. And that's today's conundrum. Well, today's conundrum brings us to the end of Newswatch tonight. I am Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Please engage with us on our social media platforms for feedback. Till next time, have a good night.